Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today in the midst of this international break. And as much as we hate the international break, like I told you a couple of videos ago, right, embrace it. Right now, yes, we're bored, we don't like it, there's no football. Well, there is, there's England, but there's no football, yeah? Embrace it though, because this peace and quiet you're going to want back after we start playing all those games every 3 days in the month of April and then into May to wrap up the season. It's going to get hectic. And it's going to get hectic, I think, for Chelsea a little bit extra than the rest. Why? Because this whole manager situation that's happened with Thomas Tuchel and Nagelsmann has kind of opened up a debate in relation to Chelsea fans wanting Nagelsmann, some saying no. Should he come in for Potter now? We're in the midst of an international break. Should we just keep Potter? It does seem like Chelsea are going to be sticking with Graham Potter up until the end of the season. That's a given now. So, yeah, brace yourselves because we don't know what's going to happen. We really do not know how this is going to end. The Everton game did not fill us with the confidence we needed going into the international break. It kind of took a step back and we don't know what's going to happen now. So brace yourself. Enjoy the peace and quiet. But before we get into the latest, there's latest in relation to Thomas Tuchel. He said something about Chelsea, right? So stick around to hear what it is exactly. And the rest of the other links to do with certain players that Chelsea are after, and the Reece James injury that just seems to be coming back. Let's get into it. Before we do though, I want to let you know, don't forget, hit the links in the description for the socials, Twitter and Instagram, as well as the second channel. New video will be popping up on there in the next 24 hours, I do reckon. I think tomorrow, video number 1 might be able to go up. If not Monday, definitely. By Monday, the first video back on Younes Talks will be up, so make sure you are subscribed there if you do want to catch it. Now, let's get cracking. Thomas Tuchel, right? Let's start off with a joke. It's nice that we laugh. If you don't laugh, you cry. We want to be happy. We want to be positive. We want to have a giggle. We want to feel nice. So here's something to laugh at, right? Because no matter how bad Chelsea are doing, when this sort of thing happens, you laugh. So here it is. Thomas Tuchel was going to fly to London for talks with Tottenham Hotspur, but cancelled his trip due to Bayern's offer and immediate engagement. Reports kicker. So I have to be honest, kicker. Are they 100% reliable? No. So this might be true, this might not be true, but it's hilarious. Can you imagine? He's thinking, Tottenham are the only relevant kind of club that's interested in me right now. Okay, let's go and talk. And then the phone rings. Bayern Munich, alright. Tottenham, sorry, I'm unavailable. Bye, job accepted, done. So, yeah. But talking about Thomas Tuchel, right? As I did mention, he said something about Chelsea. Or someone at Chelsea. Let's get into it. Thomas Tuchel was unveiled today as the Bayern Munich manager officially. Oliver Kahn, by the way, tried to come out and say, we spoke to Julian Nagelsmann. We were honest and open. He heard it from us. We took the priority to tell him the situation first before we took any action. What a load of rubbish. Fabrizio Romano unveiled it 2 days ago. I'm sure Julian Nagelsmann heard on Twitter like you and me did. 100%. So, anyway, Oliver Kahn said that. I found it weird. He didn't have to say it. Because at that point, you're insulting everyone's intelligence. But anyway, Thomas Tuchel was unveiled today as the new Bayern Munich manager. And just, by the way, just before we get into it, I wish him the best. I really wish him the best. I hope he smashes it out there. I hope he does big things. I'm sure he will. And I'm looking forward to seeing where Bayern Munich are going to go under Thomas Tuchel. I think they're going to turn into a powerhouse, man. I mean, not like they're not already, but they're going to get even better. So this is what Thomas Tuchel said earlier on. He said, my coaching staff was not prepared either. So a big thank you to their families for their flexibility. Arno Michaels and Zlotlo, who have been working with me for over 10 years, will be there. We're hoping to add Anthony Barry, who is currently at Chelsea. Now, this is where it gets a little weird. Why? Because Anthony Barry was with Thomas Tuchel at Chelsea, right? Thomas Tuchel, clearly a big fan. It worked well when they were together. They were fantastic. He's gone. Thomas Tuchel got sacked, and Anthony Barry stuck around, right? Now, in limelight, after Graham Potter came in and we started conceding stupid set-piece goals, we started being really poor in the air when trying to take advantage of our set-pieces, people started criticising Anthony Barry, right? Anthony Barry, who is meant to be in charge of set-pieces in training. Now, we get to a match day and we see how bad we perform in a match. And Anthony Barry got absolutely destroyed. It's hard when you're not there every single day at every single training session. It's difficult to come to an assumption, right? But I find it weird that Anthony Barry, everyone was only speaking praise of him when Thomas Tuchel was here. Graham Potter comes in, all of a sudden Anthony Barry doesn't know what he's doing and his set pieces are ridiculous. Maybe Anthony Barry is to blame. Maybe in training, maybe he is not doing what he's meant to be doing. Maybe he's not getting his message across well. But I find it weird that he did before and now he isn't. You know, whereas the common denominator, which I have to be honest here, when Graham Potter came in, all of a sudden everything goes to pot. So this is where I'm looking at this. Thomas Tuchel wants Anthony Barry. He sees something good in him. It leads me on to believe that, yeah, maybe Anthony Barry should be criticised in terms of how Chelsea are performing when it comes to set pieces, and maybe in training we're not doing what we're doing. But Thomas Tuchel clearly values him very, very highly. I don't know. Is Anthony Barry a bad coach or is he not? Clarify it in the comments for me. What do you think? Because Anthony Barry is now wanted by Thomas Tuchel. I have to be honest and think that there's definitely a chance he could go to Bayern Munich. His head will definitely be turned because he's probably looking at the situation going, okay, look, I've got a choice now. I stay at Chelsea with Graham Potter and this club, this team, these players, or I go to Bayern Munich and I'm with Thomas Tuchel and I have the same job. Maybe I'm getting paid better somewhere else. I don't know. But nothing really changes for him except the team. So what should he do? And what do you think he will do? Let me know down below. And Thomas Tuchel wanting Anthony Barry is no surprise. At the end of the day, it's no surprise. It's not just that as well. Anthony Barry has been wanted by quite a few other clubs in this time where he's been at Chelsea and even before then. So we have to bear that in mind. Is he actually a really good coach? Maybe he is. Let me know down below what you think of Anthony Barry and what your theories may be, because at the end of the day, we have to be honest with this one. This one, it just comes down to theory. We're not at training every single day. We don't really know. All we do is we look at the games and the matches and we analyse off of that because that is what matters. Hence why, where I do believe that when it comes to training and relationships, Graham Potter I think has decent relationships with players, but when it comes to actual execution, man, we don't look like where we need to be. We just don't. So yeah, there's always two sides of that same coin. Let's move into this little point, talking about Graham Potter and talking about Chelsea and whatnot. This is what came out by ESPN. Check this out. They put Bayern paid a world record 25 million euros to Leipzig to get Nagelsmann out of contract and gave him a 5-year contract worth 8 million euros a season. It's funny that. Because Bayern Munich did that. Paid a world record fee for compensation to get this manager into a job and then gave him a 5-year contract worth that much. And then, not long after, Chelsea come along and go, yeah, no worries, we will trump that. Hold my beer, right? £21.5 million, worth more than 25 million euros. Boom, world record fee to get Graham Potter out of Brighton. 5-year contract? Not a problem. Here's a 5-year contract. 8 million euros a season? Nah, throw that away. 12 million pounds a season. What are you saying? Yes, Chelsea absolutely trumped what Bayern Munich done with Nagelsmann, except we done it with Graham Potter. It's just unbelievable. Now, talking about Chelsea, right, and talking about certain players that are important, we have to talk about Reece James. There's been news about Reece James. Reece James has withdrawn from the England squad. And he's withdrawn from the England squad because apparently he's got a minor hamstring issue. Now, Fabrizio Romano has clarified the situation with us a little bit, so check this out. Reece James has returned to Chelsea for assessment on an ongoing issue, minor hamstring injury. Chelsea medical staff will check the situation too. I'm worried at this point. At this point, I am really worried, and I'm scared because, you know, we talk about other players and we're like, oh yeah, you know, this player's a really good player. Yeah, he's going to turn into a fantastic player. You know what? You're looking at Reece James and he's already there. You look at Reece James and you think, yeah, on the way, if not already at world class. Hands down. One of the best right-backs in world football. Easily. Yeah? When you look at the way Vinicius Jr. absolutely skinned Trent Alexander-Arnold, left, right and centre, over 2 legs, right? Or one leg mainly. You look at how he performed when he had to come across Reece James. You know, when you look at Benzema asking for Reece James' shirt, it tells you everything you need to know. Reece James is quality, but he's being held back. And he's being held back by his flipping hamstring. And this is where I'm worried, because players that are young and they show so much value and so much potential, one injury like that can wreck them. It reminds me, when I saw this earlier on today, I was like, man, it reminded me of Michael Owen. Now, Michael Owen gets ridiculed for the way that he talks now. When he was young, he didn't talk like how he talks now. Let me tell you that now. I remember when he was giving his first interviews at 18, and everyone was like, whoa, he's so mature. He talks like he's 30, right? I completely remember that. I was a kid, and I remember exactly how it was. Michael Owen burst on the scene. Brilliant goals, media hype, but he backed it up until when his hamstring blew. That one hamstring that he had, I remember he was playing for Liverpool and his hamstring just went and he hit the ground, and he said afterwards it was like he got stabbed in the back of the leg. From that point onwards, he was never the same. He was never the same. Yes, he scored goals later and whatnot, but did not hit the levels that he was hitting pre that injury. I'm worried Reece James is getting the same issue over and over again, and this hamstring is just going to hold him back. Now, there's one solution here, which I believe his sister, Lauren James, went down this route for the women's team, and that was to go and have surgery. Go and have surgery. He hasn't had surgery. He's always waited for it to heal. It's healed. He's come back, and then he's got injured again. Then he plays. He gets injured. He waits, he lets it heal, and then all of a sudden he's back and boom, it gets injured again. We might just need to think, you know what, he's going to be out for a long time, but do surgery and then go from there, because this could destroy him. If we wait for him to heal and then he injures it again and then he's ended up in a loop, he will end up probably finishing his career at 26 years old. It's very, very possible. Very possible. For his injury for his career to be cut short because of this injury. So we might need to consider surgery, and at this point, look, if it is surgery, we need to be honest and look at the situation and go, he could be out for a long time. If he does have surgery on his hamstring, he's not coming back next week. He's not even coming back next month. He's not even coming back in 3 months. It will be a long time out. So we got to brace ourselves and get ready for life without Reece James if we do take that course of action. Now we've got Malo Gusto, who is coming in, but lo and behold, he's got a hamstring injury too. So we've got to really play our cards right here and see how this is going to end up. Let me know your thoughts down below. What you think of Reece James? How do you think this should be resolved? And we'll go from there. Even for April, to think that he's going to make it through a game every 3 days. This also leads me on to one thing that I want to talk about, right? Footballers can get injured when they're overworked. Yeah? There's a misconception out there, though, that people think footballers don't get injured when they're underworked. Let me tell you now, footballers get injured when they're underworked. I have to say, this is on my gut. This is purely on my gut, right? I've had this worry and this feeling that Chelsea players have not been pushed hard enough in training, that they haven't been pushed hard enough in games, that they're, just going along with it and they're not being put through the intensity and the urgency that is required to compete at the highest level. When you do that consistently and then you are forced to perform at a high level, you are then susceptible to injury, right? I have to entertain the possibility that, just my own opinion, yeah? I'm not saying I've got information on anything. This is just my gut feeling in the way that I'm reading it. I am concerned that maybe we are not being pushed hard enough and players are falling to injury because of it. Because when they end up in a match day situation and they have to, at certain times during a game, put themselves in, a bracket, a moment of time where they give everything, muscle goes. It's a possibility. Or in training, it's a possibility. Whereas when players are constantly put through high intensity and high urgency, consistently, but I'm not saying 100% all the time, but 90, 95, 100, 95, 90, not 80. When they're in that bracket consistently, they get stronger, they get fitter, they're able to deal with that load and they work through it. We're getting too many injuries. too many injuries, and someone like Reece James is just it's worrying. So I have to entertain, instead of being overworked, are we actually underworked? Because when you look, I saw a stat the other day and I couldn't believe it. In terms of mileage in the Premier League, Chelsea I think are 18th in terms of miles ran, kilometers ran by players this season. Chelsea are 18th. We're not running. We're not running. This is what tells me, if something's not adding up, or maybe the Chelsea medical team are just horrendous at this point. Maybe that's that. So let me know your thoughts down below in relation to all of that. I want to hear what you think. And to end very quickly, there is one player that Chelsea are linked with, which I have to say, this would be a very, very good steal. And it's this. Check this out. Romeo Lavia is highly rated by Chelsea and they are still interested for the summer. Fabrizio Romano goes in saying Romeo Lavia will be one to watch in the summer. Man City, £40 million buyback clause valid in 2024. Chelsea wanted him last summer and Arsenal still keen on Caicedo too. Among clubs interested, Southampton hope to keep him. Lavia, who I have to say, by the way, Agent D on Twitter spoke about Lavia to Chelsea time ago. And now it's being mentioned here and there by the likes of Fabrizio. So credit to Agent D. Has to be. I might even get his Twitter up because he deserves the credit for that. Absolutely does deserve the credit for that. Here he is. Check this out. Agent D. He was the one that came out. And look, here it is. It's fantastic. There you are. He says exclusive February 6th. There we are. Just when proof sometimes falls right into your hands, it's there. That, Chelsea had contact and positive talks with Lavia back in February. There was no mention of that at all by anyone up until now. So Lavia to Chelsea is a possibility. Would you take Lavia? Right now we do need a midfielder to come in. Someone that is more defensively minded. Someone that is solid enough. And someone that can partner up with Enzo. Or play as the 6, whilst Enzo maybe gets a little liberated and moves into more of an 8 alongside someone like a Kante or a Kovacic or whoever there's going to be in an 8 up until the end of the season. So we'll see how that goes. But after that, during the summer, can we get a Lavia? Let me know down below what you think, and would you take Lavia? We have to honestly entertain the fact, though, Man City have a very easy buyback. 40 million. Piece of cake. Piece of cake. First option. No one else can talk. So if we do get him this summer, we're going to have to pay big money. How much would you pay for Lavia? Would you pay for Lavia? Do you want Lavia? Let me know down below. I'd love to hear it. And I will see all of you tomorrow. Maybe you might get a video, maybe you won't. I'll be honest, maybe not, because I'm traveling. It's not going to be easy, but I will see. If you get one, fantastic. If you don't, then Monday for sure you'll be getting a video on here. We'll try and get a double upload, and you'll get a Younes Talks video on the second channel definitely by then. So I will see all of you then. Thank you very much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you have enjoyed this, and I will see all of you very, very soon. Have a good one, people. See you later. Take care and peace.